The other day, I made a YouTube short about the disappearance of Annie McCarrick. And while I was researching it, I came across something called the Vanishing Triangle. What caught my attention was that, within this area in the east of Ireland, near Dublin, stretching roughly 80 miles, several other women had disappeared in similar circumstances between the late 1980s and the late 1990s. Aside from these disappearances, there were also several other women who were murdered in the same region during that time frame. The women were typically in their late teens to late 30s. They disappeared suddenly and little to no evidence was found. What stands out though, aside from the similarities, is how different some of the circumstances were. Annie McCarrick disappeared in Dublin while going about her day, and she was last seen on CCTV in a bank. Jojo Dullard disappeared after a night out. Her last known contact was a phone call from a roadside where she told a friend that she was getting into a car that had just pulled up. Deirdre Jacob disappeared in broad daylight, just meters away from her home. So while there are clear similarities between these cases, the differences in how the women disappeared make it difficult to draw any clear conclusion. However, in the case of the women who were murdered, the conclusions are much more straightforward. Antoinette Smith was found in the Glendoon Mountains strangled. Patricia Doherty was found less than a mile away, also strangled. Marie Kilmartin was found in a drainage ditch in Laois, again strangled. The similarities between these murders suggest that a single culprit was responsible. One name that is synonymous with the Vanishing Triangle is Larry Murphy. Murphy was convicted of sexual assault and attempted murder after abducting a woman from Carlow. He drove her to the Wicklow Mountains, assaulted her, and attempted to strangle her. He had even prepared a pre-dug grave, which suggests planning and leads many to believe that this wasn't his first attempt. Despite the similarities, no evidence has directly linked him to the murders. However, he has been considered a suspect in the disappearance of Deirdre Jacob and in the cases of Annie McCarrick and Jojo Dullard. Other theories suggest the possibility of multiple offenders operating in the area or links to organised crime, but again, none of this has been proven. There's enough here to make you question whether or not these cases are connected, but not enough to say for certain that they are. As for Murphy, I personally do suspect that he may have been involved in some of these cases, particularly in the cases of the women found murdered, but I'm not convinced that he was responsible for all of the disappearances, especially given that in some instances, it's been suggested that the women may have known the person responsible. Ultimately, that's what makes all of this so hard to pin down. I'll leave it there.